Are we today? Well, let's see. We've got all kinds of incredibly interesting things going on. We have a presidential candidate, George Bush, making pro-union speeches. I particularly love all the hard-hearted women calling up saying, "Well, yeah, she cried. No, but what kind of a president would she make? Thank goodness she's out of there." It is obviously the key ingredient to becoming president of the United States of America is that you don't cry. I heard somebody call up, I think it was yesterday afternoon, saying, "Boy, can you imagine if she was sitting across the table from Gorbachev and she started to cry?" Hey, why not? Maybe feel sorry for her, and give her the store. What the hell? A little bit of tears here and there, It's better than having a jerk in the White House like we have now. Yeah, that's right, a jerk. J-E-R-K? Read my lips. Let me repeat that just in case you kind of misunderstood. Ronald Wilson Reagan is a jerk. J-E-R-K. A big jerk. Why? Well, think about it for a moment, if you would. Right now, as you and I speak. Isn't that a great phrase? I love that. Right now, as you and I speak, something in the neighborhood of 30 U.S. warships are floating around the Persian Gulf. Something in the neighborhood of 25,000 U.S. servicemen are floating around on those warships, floating around in the Persian Gulf. Why? To keep the oil flowing. To keep peace in the area. Yet at the same time, in the last 7 months, we have spent $819 million buying Iranian petroleum. In 7 months, $819 million in cold, hard, beautiful, crisp, green dollars. And I suppose if there was a bigger jerk in this country than Ronald Wilson Reagan, he's sitting there listening to the radio right now saying, "Where's Lassiter? Get off calling the president a jerk." For the hour of 12 o'clock, feeling kind of lonely today, I kind of miss my old buddies over at the other radios. God, I wonder what they're doing. Let me get the radio over here. Okay. I'm sure they're doing something interesting. They're doing the dial here. Okay. 5 something or other. Oh, there it is. Well, nothing's changed over there. 22 minutes after the hour of 12 o'clock. See, last week, we did 4 hours. Count them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hours of Satan. 4 hours. Yesterday, 4 hours with a neo-Nazi. Oh, I tell you, it was hard to get in. The phones were almost as bad as the Eastern Airlines ticket counter when they canceled a flight to New York. I mean, we had 9 people arrested yesterday trying to get in on the show. Cops were beating the hell out of people left and right. "Let me on the show." "Hit him over there with a billy club." I love talk radio. There are a lot of people in talk radio who are still stuck back in the 1960s. It's a real tragedy. I mean, I remember I started listening to talk radio in the 1960s, and virtually every show, all day, all night long, was nice, juicy, heavy, pseudo-intellectual stuff. There was never any talk about anybody's breasts. There was never a talk about, "Hey, how do you feel about Satan? Would you like to be Satan?" Or anything like that. Never. It was always meaty stuff. This morning, my poor producer, I feel so sorry for the woman, sitting there lamenting, saying, "Well, geez, I could probably get the Pope, and, we could get the Secretary of State on, and would you like to do, whoever." Why do I permit myself to get into this kind of frivolous thing? Sir, it's what the people want to talk about.
About Satan?
Yes.
And about breasts?
Yes.
Well,
I'll bet you a nickel, sir. I will bet you a nickel. I could do the remaining 3.5 hours of this program today on nothing but Satan, and we could even narrow it, nipples.
Yeah. Nipples?
Nipples.
But then you must
not even the whole breast, just nipples.
Yeah, but then what you're saying is that your marketing area of WFLA, and when you're selling advertising and things like that, that you're dealing with the lowest socioeconomic level that...
No, sir.
Huh?
No, we're dealing with the highest. This is the cream of the crop.
This is what the high-level people want to talk about?
Yes, sir.
Come on, Bob. Come on. That's just difficult to believe. And you might say, well, why am I listening to you? quite frankly, I don't have a better option. But I know you're a bright person, and the gentleman on in the morning, Dick Ellery, is that his name?
Yes, Dick Ellery, yes.
Right. I mean, these are all bright people. Why can't you, steer your conversations and your discussions to things of a more intellectual area?
Because people don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'd like to talk about the Contras and about our supporting the Contras against a government in Nicaragua that essentially it seems to be that the majority and they listen.
So he wanted you to help him and correct him, and you wouldn't do it.
Of course he doesn't want to be laughed at. Nobody wants to be laughed at.
Well, you laughed at him by not telling him the correct name.
No, I didn't laugh at him. I helped everybody else laugh at him.
Oh, okay.
That's what people like. People like seeing people make fools of themselves. They really enjoy it.
Anyway, before I hang up, I just want to repeat that when y'all like talking about breasts and stuff, it's kind of dumb, and it's a waste of time. And
why is it a waste of time?
Because it's ignorant.
Why is talking about breasts ignorant?
Because you could be doing a lot better during this valuable time.
I could be doing a lot better during this valuable time. Ma'am, I assure you that the overwhelming majority of men and women spend far more of their time during any given day, with or without my help, thinking and talking about breasts than any other topic.
Okay, then. If you want to talk about that kind of stuff, have you heard about this new theory where people are addicted to sex?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that weird and interesting and brand new theory, right? Or idea?
I don't know how brand new it is, but yes, I'm aware of it.
Well, if you wanted to go from breasts to that's more interesting because that's a psychological trouble or a problem there.
Why is it a psychological problem?
Because these people want sex for some strange reason. It's not for enjoyment. They have a psychological problem. Haven't you heard about that?
How do you know it's not for enjoyment?
Well, that's what I've heard.
It's an awful lot of trouble and rather messy to go through if it's not for enjoyment.
Well, these people have a problem.
You can work up a sweat and everything.
Yeah, well, these people have a problem.
You have to take your clothes off, or at least some of them.
Anyway,
Put them back on. They get wrinkled.
No, I think if you want to talk about breasts, you can get onto this brand new problem. It's called, they're addicted to sex, but they do it for some strange reasons because they have some psychological problem. So if you want to get off the breast and get onto this new sexual problem.
Ma'am, I don't want to get off of breasts.
Well, okay, I just wanted to
agree with trying to get on them.
And, I don't know. I'd like to learn more about the Contras myself. I don't understand the whole thing. They're too good, and I wish I could learn a little more.
Okay, tomorrow we'll do a show about breasts in Nicaragua. And we want you to remember the fried golden shrimp, shrimp Rockefeller, shrimp scampi, shrimp fettuccine, baked stuffed shrimp, shrimp sampler, shrimp lover's feast, shrimp Jason, scallops Oscar, oysters, lobster paradise, Australian lobster tail, crab cakes, king crab legs, crab imperial, grouper Florentine, grouper Oscar, grouper fingers, Florida snapper Jason, salmon stir fry, salmon Oscar, salmon Wellington, baked stuffed flounder. Just a handful of the things that you will find on the menu at Leverot's. Back to the phones we go. Tex in Palm Harbor. Hi, Tex. You're on the air at WFLA.
Love your show, Bob.
Well, thank you, Tex.
This is the Synonymous Talk Show listener.
The Synonymous Talk Show listener.
Is this the non-hour?
This is the non-hour, yes.
Okay, so we'll shoot the breeze here for a minute.
We can shoot anything you'd like.
I like Rose. She's a latent heterosexual, if I ever heard one. And she kind of reminds me
Obviously ashamed of her breasts, too.
She kind of reminds me of a Hispanic Rosanna Dana in a way. But
I hadn't thought of that before. You have a point.
She is. She's fun.
If you'd wear a hat, we wouldn't be able to see it.
Anyway, listen.
Yes.
These people that want you to be all fired cerebral all the time, they're missing the whole point. You guys are out there to make money, right?
Oh.
You get 27 cents a piece for every phone call that people call in for you.
Well, I get 27. Webb gets 23, and Norman gets 25.
Okay. Well, let's say if you were to sit around and talk about mole crickets, all you'd get is, a real slim segment of the population calling you up. I mean, if you try to cover all the bases, we're talking breasts and mines in the Gulf and, David Duke or whatever his name was.
Well, the talk show host in this society has become the modern-day messenger, you see, and people want to kill the messenger. And the message that the talk show host brings to the people is that nobody cares about anything. So therefore, it's our fault.
Well, I want to tell you something. This is the confessions of the synonymous talk show listener. I used to be a dedicated FM rock and roll headbanger, okay? And the thirst for knowledge and the quest for the truth, so to speak, overtook me when I finally tuned into FLA. And what you've got over Larry King and others of his genre is that you get... could you imagine Rocky calling into Larry King or Valrico Bob? You know what I'm saying? Not only do I get educated, I get entertained. And after all, if the show was boring, by God, I'd turn it right off.
Well, first of all, with Larry King or anybody that does overnight talk radio, he is talking to an audience, probably something in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 million people.
Right.
You could do a show with 3 or 5 million people on virtually any topic. What to do with your leftover snail shells. And you would have enough people interested in leftover snail shells to give the illusion from the calls that it was an interesting program and that people were really into it. Also, he works overnight. His audience is either forced to stay up or stay up by choice because they're weird. Those people will sit there and listen to an expert on snail shells.
I hear you. And if they don't have a gun to their head forcing them to stay up, they have a gun to their head wondering why they're staying up.
And on top of that, the majority of King's audience is out in the middle of nowhere. Those people can run up and down the dial all night long, and all they're going to find is Larry King, no matter where they go.
Well, as far as Dick Ellery is concerned, I hate that son of a gun. And I wish he quit being so synonymous.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to you later.
All right, be good, Tex.
Bye.
Be more serious than breasts.
Hips and thighs, Bob.
Well, you've got a point there.
And thighs. See, I'm working right across the street from an aerobics place, and that's where it's at. It's in the hips and it's in the thighs.
Oh, you poor man. You got to sit there and watch that all day?
Hey, I'll tell you, I've only knocked 2 guys off the building with the crane, so I think I've done pretty good,
You think you could kind of swing the crane over there and gently pluck one of them from the sidewalk as they were coming out the building?
I do try. I've injured several of them, but I've given it my best shot. But hips and thighs.
Where it used to be at in talk radio. But things are changing. Things are rapidly changing. I mean, as an example, just as an example, I opened the program by saying Ronald Reagan's a jerk. Even 2 years ago, just a short 2 years ago, this would have been, When I first came to this town, I used to say things like, Ronald Reagan's a jerk. People would have strokes. But even the Reagan supporters now, they don't care. First of all, they know he's a jerk. There's nothing they can do about it. And, so, hey, just worry about that Social Security check, whatever it might be. I only do things. You see, I'm no better than you are. I'm the same as you guys are. I only talk about this stuff from time to time to rub your noses in it, just to remind you where we're all at. Even I have changed. There was a time when I sat around and I worried about Nicaragua, when I worried about Oliver North, all that kind of stuff. You see, I was married to a woman for 13 years, and we used to sit around and talk about this stuff. I'm serious. We would literally sit around and talk about this kind of stuff for 13 years. It was great. I'd come home from work, she'd come home from work, and we'd sit there and say, how do you feel about the deficit? And we'd spend 3.5, 4 hours every night. We'd talk about it over breakfast. We'd spend our weekends talking about it. Finally, she ran off with somebody that paid attention to her breasts. I found somebody with a lovely set myself, and I never talk about this stuff at home. It's where it's at. Lionel in Tampa. Hi, you're on the air, WFLA.
Bob, pioneers in radio like you are, I think should be given all the praise that you deserve. I mean, where
you're just trying to make up for being on his show. Come on, give me a break. What do you mean?
Can we hear David Duke one day and then talk about Jessica Hahn's breast size the next? You cover a veritable panoply of subjects.
I beg your pardon?
A panoply.
A panoply?
That's like a panhandler, but more expensive.
I see.
These people, Bob, the inherent irony of people who call up and say, I hate you, this is lousy radio. Oh, how the hell are they listening to you, then, if it's so lousy?
Oh, I feel sorry. I feel sorry, Lionel, for people that call up and say things like, why don't you talk about Nicaragua? Oh, Nicaragua's a terrible disaster. It's an awful problem. Maybe 1-2 days a month even I want to talk about it.
Well, that's true. And but anyway, aside from that, I've got to take my hat off again to you. I
didn't know you wore a hat.
The Duke interview was splendid, guy. You had everything.
No, I didn't know I had him. If you want to know the truth, I thought I had him sometime in October. I was surprised yesterday to walk in and find out that he was on the show. Maybe you must know the truth.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
You did that cold?
Yeah, I thought I had him in October.
Yeah, but I'm saying you had all these figures about the deficit and how much do we spend on rubber bands and all that stuff, and you had all that.
I'm weird, man. I just know this kind of stuff.
Well, I thought he was tremendous, and when you talked about the, what a great setup. Do you accept money from Bernard Montague? Yes. Do you realize in 1923 he was found guilty of killing 8 nuns? Well, how do you do this? Anyway, it was tremendous.
It's just the kind of junk that's running around my head, man.
It's tremendous.
That's why I can't do anything else but this for a living.
It was tremendous.
What can you do with, nonsense like that? It's either this or politics.
I want to talk more about
politics are too clean for me.
Breasts.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. I'll be honest.
Have you seen them yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a big disappointment.
A big disappointment or a little disappointment?
Look like inverted bells.
What are we talking about, the areola?
I beg your pardon?
The nipple, that's medical talk.
But why get involved in medical talk? I mean, come on, Lionel. It's free talk, man. This is talk radio. This is Tampa Bay.
It has a name. I mean, areola sounds like a car, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I've known women, that had names, too. Things like Fluffy and Muffy. And...
Well, describe them. I haven't seen it.
Describe them. You haven't seen it.
I mean, I have seen them of other people's, but I've never seen Jessica's before.
Well, inverted bells, that's the first thing that came to my mind. A bell that was kind of made backwards.
I see. Well, I'm going to rush. I supposedly have the copy somewhere around here. I give a Playboy.
The article is great, by the way. The article is fantastic. It is real food for thought. If it is even half truth and half fiction, we are talking about 2 of the biggest scumbags, 2 of the slimiest men ever to walk the face of the earth, in Jim Baker and John Fletcher.
Really?
Oh, my God. Scum, man. Scum.
Why?
The woman was raped. There's just no 2 ways about it. There's just no other way to phrase it, even if half of it was total, complete fabrication.
They raped her?
Yes, clearly.
I didn't know that.
In a very degrading, disgusting, dehumanizing manner.
Well, explain.
Explain?
Sure, because I'm getting weird thoughts here. I mean, you mean rape, forced, carnal knowledge against her will and all that stuff, sexual battery? Isn't that a crime? Shouldn't they have been indicted or charged with some type of an offense if this were true?
Someone has to charge them.
Why didn't she? Oh, that's the Hushman.
I suppose.
I see.
I suppose. I feel I have such incredibly mixed emotions about Jessica Hahn. I sat there watching her last night on Larry King's show, Larry King Live on CNN.
Sure.
And Jessica Hahn is not a bimbo. I'm convinced of it. I have no problem with what she is doing. In 3 months' time, no one will know Jessica's name. No one will recognize her face. She will just return back there to the masses and just become another faceless Social Security number. I think Jessica is doing the absolute right thing. If there are buffoons like you and like me and like virtually everybody else in the country who want to part with their hard-earned money to go look at Jessica's chest, if there are people like you and me who want to spend our time talking about it, go for it, Jesse. Do it.
That's what this country is all about.
It's not only what this country is all about, but if there are people willing to part with megabits for this trash, do it, Jesse. I support you all the way, lover.
I just don't want to be with him. But Duke is dangerous. Now, if all white supremacists, I guess, were like Rocky, we'd have nothing to worry about because they would be instantly impeachable. Whatever they said would counteract itself. But Duke is scary.
Oh, he's real scary. He pulled one on me. Again, it came in the 4th hour, and I was getting a little punch drunk, too. And he's talking to a caller and trying to justify his feeling that all blacks are, subhuman pigs and violent people. And he said, and in Haiti, when they rioted, they killed 40,000 white people with machetes. And he goes on. He's already 2 or 3 sentences past that, and I'm sitting here, 40. When the hell did they do? I'll take a chance and ask him. When did they do that, Mr. Duke? Oh, 200 years ago. And further. Whoa. Wasn't that a little bit closer to a slave riot, Mr. Duke? Well, yes, it was. And anyway.
Bob, it was all the papers. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm sitting here scratching my head saying, geez, when did 40,000 people die in a riot in Haiti?
And you thought you were a pretty hip guy that was really up on all these news things.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think you did a wonderful job. And I think seriously that nobody else. Now, you had mentioned something about another colleague of yours who interviewed him and did not attack him. You can't say that everybody's interviewing style has to be like yours.
No, but I can say that to treat David Duke as a presidential candidate is, it's an affront to every human being on the face of the earth. Treat him like what he is.
Don't hold back, Bob. Please, don't sugarcoat this. Please, tell us what you feel. You're holding back on me now.
No, I'm not holding back on you.
Come on.
I just told you the way I feel. To treat that man like a legitimate presidential candidate, it's disgusting.
He was courteous to him. It's a different style completely. Not everybody can be a maniac like you. Not everybody can do that.
Well, people who can't be anything but courteous should not have David Duke on their shows. It's as simple as that. It's the way I feel, and I mean it sincerely. This is not, game playing now. This is not taking jabs for fun. That I mean seriously. I was incensed when I stumbled upon that Friday night. Incensed.
Would Dick Ellaby have treated David Duke the same way, do you think?
I think Dick Ellaby would have been at least as rough on him, if not rougher.
I think Dick Ellaby, first of all, and Dick, if you're listening, I think Ellaby's show is the worst on FLA today, and he's got to be removed immediately. And if anybody out there agrees with me that we should get rid of Dick Ellaby, I think we should call up right now. No, don't laugh, Lassiter. It's not funny. Because people like Dick Ellaby detract from your show. You drive in from Bug Tussle in your little car every day to go to work. You try. You pour your guts out. You made a big name for yourself.
Oh, he's on a roll now.
And Dick Ellaby, this Boeotian, this cretin, this Icona, who comes on here fancying himself a talk show host. I mean, I can't take it. So Dick Ellaby...
Did he reject your tape and resume again?
You told me last time that you would give me a push, but you didn't do anything to me, Bob. You didn't help at all, okay? Anybody can do your job. Remember that. It's not exclusive. You all are not microsurgeons. You're not Denton Coolies. Nothing. It's not... Now, you are...
I heard you say, and I'm going to take exception. I'd forgotten about that. I heard you say that anybody can be a talk show host. These talk show hosts, especially this Lassiter, think it's some kind of an anointing.
That's right.
It is an anointing.
Oh, come on.
Plain and simple. Period. Bam.
Anointment by whom?
Anybody can do a talk show. Can Jack Wheeler do a talk show?
No, but he does a hell of a commercial. Do you know that I get an erection when he does a Waukegan pizza commercial? I mean, the man is incredible. I mean, he's very good at that. But no, of course not. A lot of people can't do that. Ted, I think, is coming along, not at the speed I would have preferred Ted to progress upon at all. But, yeah, you can do that.
Well, we ran out of the ointment. We're waiting to get another shipment of ointment in to finish the anointing.
Well, I'll tell you what I wanted to do, and I made this challenge on the other show, and I mean this. I want to get Rocky in there. I want a debate in studio. I want to debate.
Rocky won't come in studio.
What are we going to do?
But he'll do it on the phone.
When are we going to do the Lassiter Group? Huh?
I'm still kicking that around. If you really like to know the truth, the thinking in management is, well, gee, the 4 people you talked about, they're on the phone all the time. If we could get 4 other people, so we threw it back at management and said, great, you named the 4.
Fine.
But would you like to do something with Rocky?
Are you kidding? I've been begging you people.
Rocky?
Of course.
Get on the phone, Rocky. There's a line open in Pinellas. Let's set this up right now. We're not going to do the debate now. We're just going to set a date. Rocky, I challenge you. I defy you, Rocky. A line open in Pinellas. You know the number, 461 WFLA. And see if we can't set this up.
Can I pick my teammate? We're going to have 2 and 2, right?
For the Lassiter Group, that's what I had in mind. Yeah, who do you want for a teammate? Balrico Bob?
Carolyn. Oh, Bob from Balrico. Carolyn from Newport Richie. I think Carolyn and I could make mincemeat out of these people.
We know Rocky's listening, and the line is not lighting. Rocky, you're a chicken.
Rocky and Rocky's going to be paired with whom? Isn't this Tom or somebody, or what is it?
Tom from Lutz was my initial idea, yeah.
Was it the
you and Carolyn and Rocky and Tom from Lutz. That was my original group of 4. The standbys were people like Peg Mims and Bob from Balrico. They were the standbys.
Now, Bob from Balrico's solid. He'd be great, but I don't know exactly where he is. You know what I mean? I mean, he's extreme only in voice. But
Balrico, I thought.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's pretty extreme.
So
well, anyway, let me know. You know how to get you a hold of me. Tell Brad. I mean, I'm ready to go. I mean, it's about time that we start, it's really cute to go on and just say something and then hang up. But when you have to confront someone and you have to have a dialogue and think about what you're saying and be able to retort, contort, and all that sort of thing, that's another story. That's when we find out who the talent is.
Well, I think the Lassiter Group would be fantastic.
I think so.
Do we have him?
And I would give you the exclusive.
What, 1 second. Do we have him? Okay, Rocky.
Man, what you mean I ain't listening?
I know that you're listening. That's what I was saying. I know you're listening. Now, Lionel says...
You and David Fowler.
Lionel says he wants to do a show with you, Rocky.
What kind of a show?
A song and dance routine, Rocky. Blackface, we do kind of a minstrel show.
How about you play the part of Al Jolson and I'll do Fred McMurray?
Are you willing to, sit down and do a couple of hours, Rocky? You don't have to... I'll let you do it on the phone. You don't have to come into the studio.
What does he want to talk about? What does,
Well, Rocky, are you familiar...
What's Lionel want to talk about?
Rocky, are you familiar with the McLaughlin Group?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, you see, I have envisioned kind of a Lassiter Group with people like yourself and Lionel and Tom from Lutz and...
But I don't want Tom. I don't want Tom.
No, Tom... Well, who do you want, Rocky?
None of them.
None of them. Well, Rocky, it's not exactly like he's on your team. We're not going to keep score or anything like that.
No way. I don't want Tom on my side. Get a better idea. You put Lionel and Carolyn and that fat woman that rides around in the yellow Buick Peg. You can put them all together. And I'll take all of them on.
Gentlemen, 1 second here. I've got to go for a news update. It'll take about a minute and a half. Will you both stay on there on hold?
Yeah, I'll stay here. I ain't going to go nowhere.
All right, we'll come back and settle this very shortly. It's really exciting radio. Lionel in Tampa, Rocky in St. Petersburg. Gentlemen, we've got to, get to work on details. How about a week from this coming Friday? Guys?
I'm here, Bob.
Rocky?
Yeah, Bob.
Okay, now you don't have to come in the studio. It can be done on the phone. Rocky, I know that you're a little shy about publicity.
I'll go 4 hours.
October the 9th?
If that's what this week from this Friday is.
You better believe it.
A week from this Friday.
Uh-huh.
That means next Friday.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you some questions about this.
Either yes or no, Rocky.
Yeah.
Let him ask some questions.
Lionel, just a minute, Mr. Lawyer.
Sure.
Now, what is the purpose of this?
What is the purpose of this? It'll be run just like the McLaughlin Group is run. I'll toss out 4 or 5 different topics. We'll bat them around for an hour. You guys will each get approximately the same amount of time to make your comments on whatever we come up with that particular day. There'll be things in the news, general philosophy, that type of thing. For example, we might talk today about, if it were being done today, we might talk, one of the topics would obviously be the Jessica Hahn bit in Playboy magazine, because that is something really right up front in the news. We might also talk about doing business with Iran, if it were being done today. Things that are in the news right then and there for your various different comments and opinions on.
And I'm going to have to debate all these people. They're going to be all against me.
No, you don't have to know what I'm looking for, Rocky. First of all, are 2 people who are generally considered to be on the left, 2 people who are generally considered to be on the right. It is not a formal debate.
Well, I don't fit in either category, Mr. Lassiter. Mr. Lassiter, I'm very liberal in some aspects. I'm not 100%. All right, I'm conservatively speaking.
Well, I know that you like Mick Jagger, but that doesn't exactly make you a liberal, Rocky.
Well, I'm liberal when it comes to music. I'm liberal when it comes to sex.
You're backtracking, Rocky.
No, I'm not backtracking.
You're cowering.
Hey, listen, Lionel, don't put words in my mouth.
That is tough.
You see, I'm a man of my own means. I think for myself. Let me explain something. Everybody listen real quick. I'm just a caller, just like everybody else. There's nothing special, nothing unique about me.
Well, in Pinellas County, you're just like everybody else. But
I'm just your average, everyday American citizen.
White, racist,
taxpayer,
Nazi supremacist.
That likes to have fun. You see, you have to remember this.
To go back to
I am not a traveling salesman. I'm not a traveling salesman. I am not the man of the hour. Every time that you come on the line, whether you be talking about dusty roads or Budweiser beer cans, it makes no difference. Like I said before, I represent myself. People talk about who I offended. People, everybody's missed the point. People said, I've offended the Catholics, I've offended the Jews, I've offended the blacks. But there's one group they forgot about, the group that should really be mad. And there's nothing being said about it. But you've both missed the boat. So is the public.
Rocky, what the hell are you talking about? Who is the group who should be mad? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Rock?
Haven't you always heard these Southern people that call up and say, oh, I'm from the South, but I'm from the South, but Rock, he don't speak for me. You know this type.
I've heard one or two, Rocky, yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Bob, is this clear to you?
No, not at all.
Let me explain. Listen very closely. A lot of these Southern listeners out here think that I'm representing them. I am not representing anyone. I'm not representing anybody.
Well, of course not, Rocky. You're not wanted to, as part of the Lassiter Group to represent anyone. You're wanted for who and what you are, a colorful character.
I am a caller. That's all I am.
I know that.
I'm just like the rest of the people out here.
In Pinellas Park, anyway.
Well, just like the people in Gulfport and Tampa and Carrollwood, I blend right in,
I don't think there's too much of a chapter of the Klan in Carrollwood, Rocky. Come on.
You have stereotyped me.
B'nai Klan? Come on, give me a break.
You have stereotyped me. You see...
Rocky, you stereotyped yourself. What do you mean I've stereotyped you?
People have tried to come across... You see, you think that I don't have feelings. You think that I don't cry. You think I don't laugh. People think that I have no joy. They're wrong. I love the children. I've said this many times before. I love the children, and I try to help the children.
This is a bunch of self-serving crap. What about the fact, Rocky, that you want black people to go back to Africa?
Well, that's
that
true.
You don't want blacks and whites to mix.
That's true. I don't want
So you must not like black children.
No,
I don't. You must only exclusively like white children, because if you had it your way, black children would be back in Africa.
And we'd all be happier.
What?
We'd all be happier. Because the black people are crying out to send us away from here.
Well, bottom line, before we get too far away from this, will you do this Friday, October the 9th, Rocky?
Is this at 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock. We'll start at 12 o'clock.
Could you do me a favor, though?
What?
One stipulation.
What?
I want my theme song played.
No, I'm not going to play your theme song, Rocky.
You're not going to play my theme song?
No, I'm not going to play. Not unless you come in studio. You want to come in studio? We talked about this before. I'll let you do a monologue. I'll let you play your theme song in studio, one-on-one with me.
I'm not going to have a monologue.
Bob, for those of us who don't know, what is your theme song, Rocky? Is it Rocky?
No.
The theme what? What is your theme song?
No, it's not Rocky. It's Jigsaw Puzzle.
Jigsaw Puzzle?
Right.
That's your theme song?
That's my theme song.
Is that in some way representative of you? A jigsaw puzzle? Fragmented? Pieces missing? What?
Rocky, am I to assume that you're trying to back out of this? You don't want to do the Lassiter Group?
I am not part of your group.
Chicken!
Lionel, this was Lionel's idea.
It was not Lionel's idea. Don't you dare.
Lionel called in and wanted me to do this.
Bull feathers, this is my idea. I even talked about this back on the other station.
No, Rocky, he's right. He was the one who brought this up the first time. He wanted to do a group 2 against 2.
I mean, it is just so damned obvious. We have quite a number of articulate, colorful, regular callers, of which you happen to be one, Rocky. I was sitting there on Sunday afternoon watching the McLaughlin Group, and I thought, my God, what a great thing to steal. What a great thing to steal.
No one is on my side.
And let's thank God for that fact, Rock. Let's thank God that you're the only one walking the face of the earth who has these prehistoric Neanderthal ideas about anti-miscegenation laws and blacks moving back to Africa. I applaud you.
Knowledge, sir.
I applaud you for realizing that you are, in fact, one of a kind.
Yes, I think I pretty much am one of a kind. I think caller said the other day that one of the things that bothers me is that I'm kind of a dinosaur. There's not many left like me. I'll admit to that. That's true. There's not many people that would like to do some of the things I'd like to do.
Like burn crosses.
I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Are you going to do it or not, Rocky?
I don't see anything wrong with it at all.
Rocky, are you going to do it on Friday, October the 9th or not?
Sure, I'll call in.
You promise now?
I'll call in Friday.
Now, is it
Friday, October the 9th for 1 hour. The Lassiter Group.
Now, Bob.
What do you mean for 1 hour?
Just what I said. It'll be you 4 people for 1 hour.
Oh, I thought you said 2 hours. I could have sworn you said 2 hours.
I'd like to do it for 4, but I'm not going to push anybody, and I'm not going to make promises that I might not want to keep. If it really rolls and you guys feel like doing it, then we might go an additional hour. But for sure, 1 hour Friday, October the 9th, the Lassiter Group. Can I count on you?
Yeah, you can count on me, Mr. Lassiter.
I would prefer it in studio, but because it's you, Rocky, I will allow you to call in.
That's right.
Did I call in, too, or do I have to go down to that hellhole?
Take your
Sit
choice.
there and drink that lousy coffee.
What do you mean hellhole? This is a lovely facility.
It's a hellhole.
It is not a hellhole.
It's not as nice as PLP.
Oh, give me a break.
Okay, give me a break.
What are you talking about? It's 10 times nicer.
PLP's got hors d'oeuvres. It's a multi-level thing. I mean, my God, to take the elevator to the 20th floor to the
Who are these other people that are going to be here?
Well, I am hoping for Tom and Lutz. Tom and Lutz, if you're calling, listening, would you call in?
Now, you ain't going to put him on my side because I don't want him.
I'll get Kevin.
Nobody is on your side, Rocky. Nobody is on your side. Nobody is, opposed to you.
Well,
it is just 4 people.
About?
Well, I'm talking about 4 people kicking around current topics.
Now, that's different. Lionel was trying to choose teams here. I want no one on my side in this group.
And so do they, Rocky.
I want nothing to do with them.
Each person will have approximately like a minute and a half.
You see, the way Lionel makes his money is living off the misery of other people.
Each person will have approximately a minute and a half uninterrupted on each topic.
Mr. Lassiter.
What?
The man makes his money off the misery of other people.
I love miserable people, and I love you too, Rocky. And let me explain something to you.
All people, Rocky, in ambulances are miserable.
Ooh, cheap shot, Bob.
Thank you.
Cheap shot.
Thank you.
Ooh, I'm wounded. Okay, Rocky, we got a deal, pal?
Next Friday.
Friday, October the 9th. Not this coming
Friday,
a week from this Friday.
Friday.
Right.
Radio history, Rocky.
No, it's not radio history.
Oh, yes, it will be.
No, it won't be.
And, Bob?
Yes?
Another stipulation.
What?
We can cuss.
Within reason.
Okay.
I will not cuss.
Things like shucks.
I know there might be children
it.
listening, and I don't want to influence these young hearts and minds.
Come on, Rocky. Every time you come on, people shoo their children out of the room.
Oh, this nasty, foul
Rocky, get the kids out, get the kids out.
Okay, well, listen, there's an ambulance that just went by. I've got to rush. So, Rocky, get ready, pal, and don't drink anything
I'm
now.
not going to get ready, but I might have a few shots of moonshine in me.
Good, because it'll dull the pain.
No, there won't be no pain because there's nothing you can say that will bother me because I know
if there
you're
ain't
on
no
the
pain,
nigger
there ain't no
side.
gain.
Hey, Lionel, I know you're a nigger lover, okay? I know you're a nigger lover. And I know everybody on that radio station is a bunch of nigger lovers.
And proud of it.
Well, that's good.
Proud of it.
But I want nothing to do with this black race.
And they feel the same way. So, Rocky, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this? It would be a lot less expensive for you to leave the planet than for them.
No.
So if you really have this idea about separation and you want to...
Our ancestry built this country.
I suggest that
What nationality are you?
Pardon me?
Are you a Jew?
Of course not.
What nationality are you? What nationality are you?
I'm everything. I'm a child of the universe. I'm black. I'm white. I'm
You're
American.
dropping out. Come on, tell everybody you're a Jew.
I'm not a Jew, Rocky.
What's your last name? Lionel Stein?
Sure. You know, Rocky, every time you say
You're always making fun of Adolf Hitler. You're always making fun of the cross. You're always making fun of Rudolf Hess. Let the man live in peace.
What the hell is he talking about? Rudolf Hess?
I think we got Rocky away from the still. He was probably out there, testing.
I think you're gassed right now because you're talking a lot of crap.
I don't care about the still.
It's going to be great. I love it.
I don't care about the soap-making machine.
Oh, my God. Listen to this, folks. Get this down. Psychotic ramblings. Yes, you, in your neighborhood, can be the first person to talk to a psychotic. Listen to this, people. This is where we talk about mental health.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear the real facts. Let's hear the truth. Let's hear the unpoisoned and unbiased manipulation of mankind. Let's hear the virgin, untold minds that before it was created and corroded by such monstrous innuendos as people like you have full-throttled to our nation, who have put it in our public schools, who have brainwashed our children, who have took the richest prize and tried to make it look like it's beautiful and proud to be
From
black.
sea to shining sea.
Hey, what did Michael Jackson do with his nose? He bought a white woman's nose. And he can't get his money back.
I read that Doris Day is getting her hair kinked.
Doris Day needs her hair kinked because after Burt Reynolds got done with it, it fell out anyway.
Well, gentlemen.
Boy, this has really gone right down the toilet, Bob.
Well, gentlemen, we do have a date then for...
October the 9th.
For October the 9th.
Are you going to run promos, Bob?
We well may.
Very good.
I still have to set up the other two people, but we well may.
Wait a minute. What are the two people?
You'll find out, Rocky.
Two more commies.
1 second here. Carolyn, are you available on the 9th of October? Carolyn?
Yes, I'm here, and I gladly accept the challenge.
Okay.
I have something to
now,
say.
I still need Tom and Luke.
Here's what I have to say to you, Rocky.
Here's what I got to say to you, you skinny little puke.
You talked about brainwashing kids in school.
You're a brainwasher. You have been brainwashed. You said you were from Hazard County, Kentucky. And I've talked to a lot of people from Hazard County, Kentucky, and never in my life have I ever heard such rhetoric. Such accusations coming from the polluted soul of a professional professor from the city of Utah.
You know what I never heard before? I never heard a man who talked about brainwashing kids.
Mr. Lassiter, you know what that mistake was? Mr. Lassiter.
What was that?
7 continents, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Antarctica, and Australia. But there's going to be 9 more continents because when the country gets together and pulls them together, we're going to have a continent for the blacks. We're going to have a continent for the other.
Well, Rocky, I promise geography will not come up during the Lassiter Group. Yes, Carolyn?
Anybody who would find continents has got rocks in his head.
Even David was a little embarrassed about that one, Carolyn.
It's a great intellectual.
But I promise we will not discuss geography in the Lassiter Group.
We'll make
Let's not hide. Hey, let's not try to overshadow the truth by innuendo.
You do more to overshadow the truth.
I don't see what an Italian suppository has to do with anything, Rocky.
It has a lot to do with it. Because if you take enough black pepper and enough white pepper to mix it together, and you lose both flavors.
You got it right, Lionel.
And coming from a flavorless person, you should know. But let me tell you something, Rocky. We're going to break it off in you. You're going to need a wheelchair, all right? Get ready, October the 9th.
Hey, Rocky.
Loser, leave the country. And what we're going to do, Bob, is we're going to have...
Steel cage conversation?
Now, Bob, what we're going to do is steel cage. That's right, over the top rope.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Rocky. You got your butter on?
Now, what we're going to do is this. Yeah. We're going to then have the callers themselves... Bob?
Yes.
I'm talking, Bob.
Yes, I know.
I don't talk about my sex life project.
Carolyn and Rocky, hold it down for 1 second here.
Now, wait a minute. I've got
you want to talk to my own man.
This ain't going to work,
Bob. Try to use innuendos and shadow the real focus point that is really here by using these accusations that you use.
Accusations, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Oh, who brainwashed you, baby?
I didn't say innuendos, I said aggregation.
Aggregations, Aggregation.
Now, Bob?
Yes?
I think after we're done with this soiree we're having, that the callers should call in and vote to see which side won.
But you're the intellectual. You're supposed to smooth things out. What's going wrong? What's happening? Can you explain that to me? All you real sophisticated professional types.
Well, now, wait, guys, hold on.
Problems. What happened?
Whoa, time out.
Eat your heart out, Clint.
Good control, Bob.
What happened? What happened?
Time out.
I like
Friday, October the 9th. Carolyn, you're set?
I'm set.
Rocky, you're set?
Be too stoned this time, okay?
Rocky, you promised me, October the 9th, Friday, 12 noon, you'll call in.
Yeah, if Carolyn's there,
you'll call in during the newscast, so you'll be ready to go at...
Yeah, I'll call before the 12 o'clock hour.
Okay. Same with you, Lionel. You'll be in studio or on the phone?
You better believe it.
I better believe what? In studio or on the phone?
Well, it depends. If I can get near your hovel over there, I might do the studio. But I might do the phone. So...
Well, try to chase a southbound ambulance, and maybe you'll end up in the neighborhood, you know?
You forgot somebody. You forgot somebody.
What's that, Rocky?
Now, you said Lionel and Carolyn. Now, who's the other communist?
Well, I'm looking for Tom and Luke. Speaking of communists, Tom, I know that you're listening, and you're being challenged, Tom and Luke.
This is amazing. You cannot have a decent, upstanding control here.
You call me a communist one more time, and I'll say something to you you'll regret.
You've admitted it repeatedly many times. I don't know what's so different about today.
Hey, Rocky, I've got a deal for you. Since I'm an ambulance chaser, I know a lot of people who are brain dead because of accidents, so I will get one who is almost as brain dead as you, so it'll be somewhat fair. I'll find somebody for you.
Good
You'll have somebody in your corner.
Brain dead as Rocky.
All right? I'll get the money for you.
Lady.
I'll get you a Nazi, fundamentalist, white supremacist person with a straight-line EEG who can't make a fist and is drunk all the time.
Carolyn. Hey, Carolyn, are you there? Did you put the phone down?
No, I'm here, Rocky.
Could you answer a little question for me, please?
I don't know. You don't ask very good questions.
Well, I'm going to make this one real simple so maybe you can understand it, even though you have been brainwashed and poisoned over the years. I'll try to make it real.
Get to the point, Rocky.
Okay, here's the point. You woman. Here's the point. You're real articulate. You're real educated. You know your facts. Why don't you, if you think you know so much, why don't you get out into public and help solve some of the problems that people like you have created?
Rocky.
We'll address that on Friday, October the 9th.
Oh, you got to...
Okay.
You can't answer me.
Guys.
You can't answer me like that, can you? All right off the wall.
Guys.
Right off the cuff, and you can hide. You gotta go home and read your history book.
Put a sheet in your mouth. Hold on there.
You got to go home and read your history book and figure it out.
Lassiter, I always visualized in my mind that Rocky made love in a sheet with a pointed hood on. I found out last night that he rolls around on the kitchen floor covered with butter.
Yeah, and leather. Don't forget the leather.
Okay, Friday, October the 9th, guys.
And the kinky sex, you can't beat that in a debate.
Okay, this is a trick I learned from Gordon Soley.
Yes,
I'm a master debater, darling.
I know you're a master debater, too, and I want you on my side.
Lionel, thank you. See you on Friday.
Okay, pal.
Okay, Rocky, you'll be there, too.
I love you, Carolyn.
Oh, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, it's going to be radio history. Where were we? Let's give out the phone.
That'll really be great. Friday, October the 9th, right here, steel cage match with the Lassiter Group. It'll be just absolutely fantastic.
Tom in Seminole High, you're on the air, WFLA.
Hello?
Hello, Tom.
Yes. I'm telling you, you guys got it.
Okay, Tom.
Okay?
All right.
Why don't you think it over?
Okay, I will, Tom.
All right?
Okay.
Get together with Dick. That guy is funny. The both of you make a team.
Hey, Tom?
Yeah.
Would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Look down there on the table and tell me what it is that you're drinking.
What am I drinking?
You don't even
I'm
know?
not drinking anything. I'm just trying to drive some common sense into you.
Drive some common sense into me.
Yeah,
Tom,
so
what
we can make some money.
Tom, what would you know about common sense? We still eagerly await hearing from that Pennsylvania geek and loose. Goes by the name of Tom to round out the Lassiter Group for this, not this coming Friday, a week from this Friday, but in the meanwhile, we'll just, struggle through best we can. It's an open program. Peggy in South Tampa. Peggy.
Yeah, Bob. You've pulled a Biden, Bob. This is a Biden.
A Biden?
You have taken my idea, which is in writing at the other station before this station ever became a talk show. I suggested this not once, not twice, several times, including Lionel and Carolyn. Now, I did not have Tom in loops.
Yes.
He's about as exciting as 3 hours of a lecture on Mycenaean basket weaving delivered in ancient Latin by George Schultz. That is a horrible...
Well, who would you suggest? I mean, come on.
What are you going to have? You're going to have 5 Novaks screaming and yelling and...
4.
Hysterical? What are you going to do, moderate?
Well, that's one way of phrasing it. Just kind of sit back and take the day off.
How many times have you directed? How many times?
I've only directed once.
And I am a director. What you need is a director. You need to participate in the show and be what you are. I am a director. And you got to shut these people up. It's not going to go with everybody screaming hysterical.
Well, of course not. No, each will have a minute and a half to make his point. After the point has been made, then we will throw it open for approximately 2 to 3 minutes for a group discussion. And, of course, I have volume control. I can also just throw anybody on hold that I want to. Yes, there will be continuity, I promise.
Tom, he's got the intellectual capacity of petrified...
That's why I selected him.
Huh?
That's why I selected him.
Why? Well, I mean, what's the point?
I love hearing people clear their voices.
Sounds like
I made a point.
Life support system. I think...
Well, I'd really prefer Bob and Val Rico, but Bob and Val Rico, he listens to the show. Hi, Bob, how are you? But, he's what I'd really like to round out the Lassiter Group, so Tom is a second choice.
This will have no dignity. This will have...
Well, of course not.
You just want to have a bunch...
Why would I want something with dignity?
Well, you're...
Ratings, lady, ratings.
And you think this is going to be...
Oh, when I get down to Peter Handy's office, I can't say, hey, I got a lot of dignity, triple my salary.
Stand by, indeed. My idea, my thoughts.
Oh, sure, it's real easy for you to say now, Peggy.
But I'm on record, and if anybody was listening to 2.5, 3 years ago, I said it on the air, WPLP. Come on, people. Somebody must remember. And they told me then, oh, that's too dull for radio. That would never... I think it was Coles. People wouldn't want to hear that. That's dull. That's a terrible idea. And now you're stealing it. Enough of this. I tell you, there is nothing. Stand by, indeed. There's nothing worse than rejection. Goodbye.
Well, if that's the way you feel, Peggy.
That's the way I feel.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Jeez. I think Rocky was right about her. One line open in Hillsborough, hopefully for the pencil-neck geek in the Luth tongue.
And that would be that you take a survey, as you do quite often on other things, and see how many people...
I never take surveys like that.
Like that? What's wrong with that?
It's dull and boring.
Well, so are a lot of the others I've heard you make, but one other thing.
You listened to them, though, didn't you?
Well, sure, I was trapped in the car, and it's better than listening to music. Okay, now another thing.
Would you have both arms blown?
Say, regarding affirmative action, it seems that a number of us, more than you probably realize, are fed up with that. And one thing I think I heard you say... No,
a number of you, including yourself, are fed up with what you think affirmative action is.
Well,
but what you think affirmative action is and what Mr. Duke says affirmative action is not what it is.
Okay, now, will you let me finish? You know, you tend to be very rude. Now, let me ask you a question.
I beg your pardon?
Regarding the situation where you said, I do believe that your station covers its rear end by putting out notices in minority papers and such as that, so that the station cannot be accused of being one-sided. Well, apparently, you have hired a member of a minority who has read the news 3 times. I can tell by the very slight accent.
There are a number of black people that work at the station.
Well, she can't even read.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's somebody who's not qualified.
Can't even read, huh?
That's right. She fumbles and stumbles. And
just like I did my first day here, too, yeah.
Well...
just like everybody does on their first day.
Well...
Yeah.
There's training that should overcome that.
Yeah. Oh, is there? No, there's no training to overcome first-day jitters on a job, bozo. There's no training to overcome first-day jitters on a job if you're driving a truck or talking into a microphone.
You faggot.
Oh, yes, right. I'm a faggot. Well, we know what you are, you lower-than-pond scum slime, subhuman pig. Yeah, subhuman pig, George. You got it? Subhuman pig. Bill in Tampa, you're on the air at WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bill.
How you doing?
Fine. I always feel good when I run into a subhuman pig. To the phones again we go. Renee in Tampa. Hi, Renee. You're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Lasher.
Yes.
I've been listening to you for a while, man. You kind of like a smart aleck,
Yeah, No, I'm not kind of like a smart aleck.
Oh, yeah.
I am a smart aleck.
But I tell you what, you're a smart man, because I tell you what, if we had more guys like you, we Cubans would have never lost our country. You're pretty smart, but, man, let me tell you, you've got narrow views on everything.
Yeah, you Cubans would have never lost the country? Amazing. You sound to me like you're from Hoboken.
Well, what can I say?
Havana.
I'm going to tell you one thing. You're a smart man.
I doubt it, but give it a try anyway.
Huh?
I said I doubt it, but give it a try anyway.
Well, you're smart, but your views are very narrow.
Yeah?
You don't give nobody a chance to talk, calling people names and faggots and so forth. You don't do those things.
That was the caller calling me a faggot.
Huh?
That was the caller calling... Try to read my lips. It was the caller calling me a faggot. I called him a subhuman pig afterwards.
I can't read your lips, but we're over the phone. So, that's what I try. But don't worry, I listen to you a lot, so keep it up.
Well, I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, but then don't forget about me, because I guarantee you one thing. You're going to get some good views from me, Renee.
Really? Well, like what kind of views, Renee?
I got good views.
I've never had anybody call me up before and threaten to call back with good views.
Huh? Good views? Can you... Well, I keep listening, bye.
I think I've been threatened with my buddies over at Snooze Talk 57, see how things are going.
Go for it.
Here's someplace. No, Oh, there it is. Dan, why doesn't somebody wake him up? He's got a call. Brad, could you call us? Nah, it won't work. He doesn't do the phone. Jeez, I feel so bad for him. Well, it's probably a wrong number anyway. I'll take some of the calls that I have.
Start sending out the bills right now. So we want to stop that and give us all more of a chance to gather ourselves.
Okay. Thank you ever so much. Spend 2.5 hours, getting Lionel on the phone, you get Rocky on the phone, you get people all excited about Jessica's breasts. Yeah, I think they're talking about this on the other station. Let's see how they're doing. Going down the dial here.
Gulf Wars.
Positive they're talking about Hillsborough County taxes on the other station. Let's see if they're getting... Oh, there it is. Let's see if they're getting good response. I'll just turn it up. Awful signal up there. Somebody wants to talk about that. Why don't they answer the phone? Somebody wants to talk about Hillsborough County taxes. I feel so helpless. I want to go in and shake him in the studio. He's got a call. God, well. Then we'll just go back to the phones. They all switched over to Paradise. They're all listening to Vaughn Monroe records or whatever it is they play over there. 990-9352 in Hillsborough. 461-9352 in Pinellas.
You open up your mail.
How often do I?
I got a letter that I mailed in there to you, and it'd be a perfect topic to talk about.
It would be a perfect topic to talk about. But to tell you the truth, I haven't gone down to check my mail for days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of slink in and out the back door, and I haven't checked my mail for a while now.
One thing I want to talk about, you bring up that Playboy issue to about every caller. What about have you heard about the Playgirl issue with Jim Baker in it?
No, I haven't.
It'll be coming out in November.
Really?
Right. And I wanted to know if you and Ted plan to buy an issue and compare.
Well, I don't even buy Playboy. I just wait, for somebody to show it to me.
Okay.
Or the magazine, whichever comes first.
Well, when it'll come out, I'll mail you in a copy, and maybe you and Ted can compare with Jim.
Well, that would probably be very exciting.
Okay, all I want to talk about.
Okay, Malcolm.
All righty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I mean, we were cooking, and this greedy, good-for-nothing person calls up and says, I don't pay your taxes. That's not what I'm sending about. And it all went downhill from there. I mean, I had primed the pump 2.5 glorious hours. I mean, I had Rocky on, I had Lionel on, and I had Carolyn on all at the same time. I mean, that is not an easy accomplishment. Not an easy accomplishment. Everything was just cooking and cooking away, and people were having a grand old time. And, what do you expect from a community that votes Pizza Hut the most tasty pizza? I mean, the people at Pizza Hut are real nice guys. Fine people. I've eaten there many times, but, they're out of Kansas or something like that. Obviously nothing. Nothing but it's a tragedy. Well, I really couldn't tell you, Dan.
Negotiators fooling around in Geneva with the commies about missiles when we are facing a threat that goes to the core of our American way of life. No football.
I feel that's one of the great problems that we have in this community, is not enough people have stuffed animals, and those that do, not enough of them talk to their stuffed animals. Because a man that talks to a stuffed animal is a far better caller. I mean, do you think this, what was it, Delbert, whatever his name, do you think this man talks to stuffed animals? No. He talks to his tax bill. And he talks to people about his tax bill. His life is empty. If he would only go out and get himself a cute, cuddly little bunny rabbit or maybe a little Snoopy doll, set him in the chair, and chat with him, discuss these things with him, life would be so much better. I think possibly tomorrow I might bring in all of my stuffed animals, set them around the table, hook up a microphone for each one, and let's just see the joys. See what kind of good stuff can come out of talking to a stuffed animal. You can tell the callers who talk to stuffed animals, and you can tell the callers that Rocky, for example, Rocky would never talk to a stuffed animal. I'll bet Lionel does. I'll bet Carolyn does. Bob from Valrico? No way. He would never talk to a stuffed animal. And you can just hear it in their voices. There's no passion for life. They take everything so damn seriously. Not that life isn't serious, it is. Stuffed animals. I have quite a number. There's Snoopy, Spike, Baby Bear, Mr. Skunk, Mr. Goose. There's the Bunny Bear, Wolfie. Am I leaving anybody out? Opus, of course. Opus. How could I forget him? That's what, 8 or 7? Who knows? Only people who talk to stuffed animals in the fourth and final hour. That is an edict. If you do not talk to... As a matter of fact, forever. If you don't talk to stuffed animals, don't ever call me. Ever. Not just the fourth hour, but ever. As long as I'm in this business, as long as I'm at this station, as long as I'm in this market, if you don't talk to stuffed animals, I don't want to hear from you. Is that perfectly clear?
Now what?
Ground rules for this fourth hour. I mean, we were just going along so well. If you don't know the joys of throwing a rubber ball up against the side of the house and pretending that you're playing shortstop for, your team in the World Series, don't call, okay? If you still don't dream about becoming a multimillionaire, and I'm not talking about, winning the lottery, don't call. If you've never been seduced by a piece of cheesecake, if you're the kind of person that looks at a plate of ice cream and thinks about how many calories are in it, don't call, okay? Don't bother. If it's been more than a year since you've been on a swing or, literally any playground apparatus, don't call. If it's been over a year since you've been tempted to sneak into the park in the middle of the night and ride on a swing or go down the sliding board, don't call, don't need it, okay? If you call your wife by her real name, don't call. If you subscribe to the Reader's Digest, don't call. If you know the tax collector's name, don't call. I'd rather sit here for an hour looking at the clock, counting the seconds until the agony is over than talk to people like that, So I make myself real clear. Great. 11 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock. I know that there are enough of you out there with a twinkle in your eye who understand what I'm talking about to get us through this day.
Around the city of Tampa have a real problem about spending money. Consequently, they're forever inflating their budget to where it makes it virtually impossible for you to cut down to the fact that they can't possibly make more this year than they did last year. I get back to Bob Martinez. I've known the man for several years, and I know about him. I didn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him now. I never did.
It's rude as all hell to just hang up on somebody in the middle of the conversation, but I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Jim in Seminole. Hi, you're on the air, WFLA.
How you doing, Bob?
Fine, Jim.
Yeah, Jim here. Yeah, I just made a few rounds. I thought I'd give you a buzz when you started talking about toys and teddy bears.
Great.
Hey, when I'm in Kmart there selling my items and whatnot, I always make it a point to stop in the toy aisle and, look at the toys and the models and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I get into that pretty good.
You, Jim? Yeah. You get into toys? Come on, Jim.
No,
You're just saying that to try to impress me.
No, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm into models. Like model airplanes and stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant like Donna Rice.
I can come up with something better than that, but, I like to look at those things, and I always get stared at by the adults, but, heck with them.
There are too damn many adults in this world, Jim. Too damned many adults.
And I usually attract all the kids, they kind of like stand around me and, take me on as kind of like a father image, and they kind of look up at me, and then they look at the toys and look up at me. I look at them and I say, heck with them. I play with animals.
Playing with animals, like throwing a stick and letting the poor animal chase after it time after time again. Do you talk to them? Do you ever sit down and put your arm around a dog?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I talk to them and roll them over and roll them in my lap. And
do you know how many people have dogs and don't talk to them, Jim? Do you have any idea at all?
I can imagine. I talk to my animals. I carry on a real good conversation with them. Matter of fact, they make a lot more sense than a lot of people, I'll tell you.
And they never bitch about taxes.
Nope. Now I wish more people can be kind of like them. Kind of like laid back, and they
my Basset Hound
enjoy life, and they're always happy to see you.
My Basset Hound is the worst dog on the face of the earth. We're talking bad dog here, Jim. We're talking a dog that won't listen to me. We're talking a dog that has no problem whatsoever with doing some of the most despicable things on my carpet, but never once has Sophie mentioned Bob Martinez. Not once. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'll keep her.
Well, I'll tell you, my animals are always glad to see me when I come in. And there's a lot more, like I say, with some people when they see me.
Well, I can understand that.
Well, I figure you have something to say about that, but, you know what I'm trying to say. Hey, you think you've had a bad week or a bad day.
I've had a great day up until about the last 45 minutes.
A little while ago, but boy, I can't even park.
I had great calls, man. I was really enjoying myself. I'm sitting here saying, "Oh man, this is a fun show."
I thought that was funny when you tuned into AM 57 there. They were all asleep over there. That was funny.
Gee, I was
laughing in my car.
You had a call too.
I was laughing in my car when I heard that. But hey, I can't even park at Winky Wieners anymore.
You can't park at Winky Wieners anymore?
Nope. You know why?
Oh, why is that?
They got me, as I told you before, I don't know if you remember, but I sell condoms.
Right, I recall vividly.
Okay.
Door to door.
Prophylactics, yeah. No, it's the grocery stores and Kmart's and Albertsons.
Oh, I thought you were going door to door.
Well, no, not exactly.
That's right, you're working Pinellas. That would be futile.
Yeah, well, anyway, they got me driving I hate to even say this is embarrassing, there. But I hate to even say this, Bob. They got me driving a condomobile.
No.
Yep. You ever see the weenie mobiles? With, the four wheels and it's a big hot dog with a bun on it?
The Oscar Mayer, yeah.
Yeah, right. No. Well, they got me driving something similar to that with four wheels on it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope.
Oh, tasteless.
And I was in Winky Wiener's parking lot the other day. As a matter of fact, I called you and they chased me out and I had to hang up.
Darn.
They said, hey, this is hurting business out there. Yeah, imagine that thing parked in front of it. People can figure out whether it's a condom stand or a hot dog stand.
Well, you're working Pinellas County, man. If you go to a hip county, like, Henry or something like that, where people live in the real world, but Pinellas County, come on.
You realize how embarrassing it is to drive that thing, especially when you come to a stoplight? All these people are looking at you.
Well, three-quarters of the people that live in that county, you've got to explain to them what it's all and where and how, and it's impossible.
And on top of that, they got even painted beige.
No.
I think they give me some with a little color to it,
Yeah, pink or something.
Yeah, or some with stripes or something. Or little knobs on it, or I don't know. But anyway, it's terrible. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know. It's real embarrassing.
Well, times are tough all over, Jim.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I got to take that thing home with me at night. Park it out in the front yard.
At home? Wait a second. I thought you slept on a park bench.
No.
You really do have a...
Yeah, I got a pad.
What, down at the YMCA?
No, it's a little better than that. But yeah, I got a little pad. I got a driveway there. Hey, I'm just like you people, Bob. I'm just kind of like just regular folk.
Well, thank you for checking in, Jim.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation there, and I think more people should stop being adults.
I couldn't agree more.
Don't you agree?
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, hey, Bob.
Yes, Jim.
I know you're capable of being a real comedian, and I wish you'd do it more often because you are funny when you want to be.
Thank you,
funny
Jim.
comedian.
Well, thank you.
Real funny at times.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
A pain most of the time, but you can be funny.
It means a lot to me, Jim.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Take care, Jim.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about crime and punishment for women. Part 2 today. We'll be talking to a probation officer and also a fellow by the name of Corporal Mitch Messer of the Hillsborough County Vice Cop.
Great. How many stuffed animals do you have?
43.
I'm serious.
None.
How many stuffed animals do you have?
None.
Figures?
None.
Why?
I don't know. I've never gone for them.
Why not?
I don't know.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah, I've got an attack.
Do you talk to your dog?
Yeah, an attacked Doberman Pinscher called Dracula. It's a female. She's great.
A Doberman Pinscher?
Yeah. 88 pounds.
When was the last time you held a conversation with her?
This morning.
I'm serious now.
No, I talk to her all the time.
Yeah, I'm not saying things like fetch.
No. I talk to her all the time. I really do.
What'd you talk to her about this morning?
This morning, I basically talked to her that we're having a guy coming in that was going to be turning on the gas and to be cool, and that the reason I had a chain on.
That's a conversation with your dog?
No, it was. I mean, she,
did you ever complain to her about the boss?
No, I don't.
Why?
I don't, because she's very unforgiving. She's liable to come up here and tear his head off. She's that type of dog. She really is. Very jealous of me, too.
You don't talk to your dog.
I do. I do talk to my dog. I really do. I really talk to her.
You complain about life's frustrations? I mean,
no, I don't have any anymore.
Put your arm around her and say, what's her name?
Her name is Dracula.
Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great sense of humor. I mean, you never come in and put your arm around her and say, oh, Dracula, God, I had a rough day, honey.
It's not that she's a very macho dog, but
me, Dracula. Out in that real world out there, Dracula.
She'd tell me to flip off. She's a very macho dog. She's not into that kind of stuff. She'd rather discuss, the mining of the harbors and stuff like that.
I thought you were, I'm obviously changing my opinion right here and now as we chat. I really thought you were an okay guy. But you don't talk to your dog.
No, I talked to her, but I talked to her about serious
mining
things.
Harbors.
Mining harbors.
Like that, right.
Well, that's what she's into, That's what she's into. Synonymous Buck will be joining us again today during the 4 o'clock hour.
Big deal. When was the last time you went to a playground and rode on the swings?
2 weeks ago.
Don't pull my leg, Webb.
2 weeks ago with my daughter. I do that about every week.
No. Not with your daughter, by yourself.
No.
It's not quite the same thing, taking your kid to the playground. No, I'm talking about going yourself. Driving down the street. You drive down the street, you pass a playground, you look at it, you get about a block and a half, maybe 2 blocks further up, you bang a Yui, you come back, you go in all by yourself, and you just ride back and forth on the swings or maybe go down the sliding board. How long has it been, Wes?
I can't do stuff like that. I'm still on probation. And the judge would frown on stuff like that. Would think I was leaning back to my
stick in the mud, man. A real stick in the mud.
I am. No, I don't have time for that.
You don't have time for that.
I sure don't.
Yeah, you're too busy worrying about mining the harbors and...
Somebody's got to worry about it, Bob. I didn't want to this week, but, you didn't care about it. I had to worry, but I had to...
Has a piece of cheesecake ever called your name?
Regularly. And I'm a diabetic, so, it yells at me. I can't eat it.
A little bit. You probably subscribe to Reader's Digest, don't you?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't.
What do you subscribe to?
I don't subscribe to anything since we get them all free here at the station. And I'm never home, so I never read at home. I just read all the stuff here.
What magazine do you never go out of your way to miss?
Probably Playboy.
Oh.
For the articles, strictly for the articles. Can I read some of that Jessica Hahn stuff over the air?
You can have the whole article if you'd like.
No, now. I'd like to, because I know you were a little shy to read some of the passages, which were pretty good, by the way. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. There's a good page here that has...
A good page. There are a number of good pages.
Yeah, but there's one that was really good that I read when you first went on the air today.
I should point out that I have a photocopied article out of Playboy. I do not have the actual magazine, nor do I have photocopies of the photographs.
I can't find it now.
Can't find it now.
No. I'm trying to...
Isn't that amazing?
Trying to figure out where it was.
Well, maybe Dracula could help you with,
I'll ask her. She's got a copy of this at home, so when I get home tonight, I'll ask her. She could point it out to me.
It never ever dawned on you driving past a playground to stop and just go over and...
Bob, I'm older than you. I couldn't get away with it, I'd go out there and be sore for 2 or 3 days. I'm dating a 23-year-old woman. That's, Are you dating a 23-year-old woman?
Please, I'm a married man.
Okay, before you were a married man, were you dating a 23-year-old woman?
No.
Okay, so you can't relate to that, but when you date a 23-year-old woman, you're in no condition to go out and get on a slide and swing and do that. You do that when you take your child.
You expect me to believe that, Webb?
I really do.
You really expect me to believe that?
I really
don't. I don't believe it at all.
Really? It's the truth.
You're a stick in the mud, Webb.
I'll show you her...
I like that better.
Her driver's license when she shows up.
Red Wed.
I'll show you her driver's license when she comes up here.
Oh, man.
And then...
How many calories in a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream?
I don't eat ice cream. I'll freak and do a little cheesecake.
How many calories in a pound of steak?
I don't eat steak.
What do you eat?
Chicken and fish.
How many calories in a pound of chicken?
Geez, I don't know how many.
I haven't the vaguest idea either, but I thought for sure a stick in the mud like you
I eat it.
know.
I eat it by ounces.
Eat it by ounces.
By ounces. I'm only allowed 3 ounces.
Hopeless, Webb, hopeless.
I'll see you at 470 WFLA.
Bob.
Drove me insane. Just drove me insane. Gorgeous weather, beautiful scenery, but not much to do. And I was sitting in a sidewalk cafe one day, and I was drinking wine coolers, and I'd had probably 1 or 2 or 8 or 9 more than I should have. And there was a group of women sitting at the next table, 4 women, and they had just returned from Long Island. And they were talking about it, and one of the women was saying,
and it's so dirty and noisy and the traffic and I just didn't feel, it was awful, and the dirt and the noise and the crime.
And I lifted myself up from the table. It's the only way I could get up was to lift myself up. I staggered over to their table. I put my hands down on the table. I looked all 4 women in the eye and said something to the effect of, "Don't you know that's the way it's supposed to be?" and meant every word of it. You don't believe me? Go down to the beach tonight. Try Treasure Island. You will see people walking up and down on these sharp as glass, sharp as nails, seashells. Ouch. Ooh, ow, ow, ooh, ooh, ooh. Isn't it beautiful? Ouch. Ooh. Even the people in tennis shoes. The stuff is so sharp it's cutting the bottom of their shoes, sticking through into their feet. That's how you can always tell somebody from the Midwest. They always find good in anything, no matter how bad it is. Mike and St.
Hello.
Hello, Claude.
How you doing?
Fine.
Listen, Bob, I want to comment on Ed Webb's little thing about Playboy, only reading it for the articles.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have told me that. As a matter of fact, a friend commented on that. He says, why can't guys just be honest? He says they read Playboy for the same reason that I do. They read Playboy for the same reason that I read National Geographic. He says I like to see colored pictures of places I ain't going to visit.
Good one, Claude. I like that one.
Yeah.
I usually don't like feeble attempts at humor on the radio, but that was a good one, Claude. 990 Roger in Tampa, you're on the air.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Roger.
I just wanted to say I'm looking real forward to the Lassiter Group.
It should be an interesting morning or afternoon. It may be total chaos. It probably will be. Could be a disaster. It could be something that I will really, really regret, but it could work, too.
I just want to know what your... What part are you going to be playing in it, Bob?
Well, agitator. Agitator, trying to get them all furious.
I don't think you'll have to do that.
Shouldn't be hard.
That's right.
Should be one of the easiest assignments of my life.
This should be the Super Bowl of talk radio.
It could well be, or it could really be the Little League World Series.
Okay, but that's all I was calling about, and I'll definitely be listening.
Thank you, Roger.
All right.
For you.
Well, it indeed will be. She spent probably almost an hour and a half wrapping presents last night. I just can't wait. Just can't wait.